Hello, my name is Brendan Butler. I am an environmental scientist with the consultancy firm Best Ever Environmental Impact Assessment Specialist. I have been asked today to explain the statutory approval process for the redevelopment and operation proposal of the Lindeman Island Resort and related island infrastructure. Our firm, through meticulous assessment, has prepared an environmental impact statement, or EIS, as required under Queensland and Commonwealth law to address the many implied risks associated with this particular project. This EIS document is a cornerstone part of the statutory approval process for developments of this extensive and implicated nature, which I will elaborate on with relevance to its role in the step-by-step process presented. Relating to some background information on the associated environmental law with the project, there are two key pieces of legislation that organise the statutory approval process. They include Queensland State Development and Public Works Organisation Act, or the SDPWO Act, and the Commonwealth's Environmental Protection and Biodiversity Conservation Act, or the EPBC Act. The process of approval for this application must meet both the separate state and Commonwealth assessment requirements under these legislations. As such, the legislative requirement is that separate assessment processes that are carried out under law by both the state and the Commonwealth. A bilateral agreement between the two levels of government authorities can be entered into, reducing the statutory approval into one assessment process that considers both legislations. With a bilateral agreement approval, the state is empowered to assess and decide proposed actions. The state requirements under this agreement involves an accredited authorisation process that meets the Commonwealth's obligations under the EPBC Act, as well as accreditation from the Commonwealth Minister for the Environment. Under the SDPWO Act in Queensland, the Coordinator-General can make a declaration that a proposal is deemed to be a coordinated project, with relevance to the approval having complexities at Commonwealth, state and local levels, significant strategic implications for multi-regional areas, or substantial impacts, either negative or positive, on the physical environment, infrastructure, social qualities, or the economy, all of which apply to the proposed project. Having the Coordinator-General declare the proposal a coordinated project implies that an environmental impact statement, or EIS, is required, which was previously described as a cornerstone element of a statutory approval process for this project. The requirements of the EIS must address the Coordinator-General's approved terms of reference. Once this declaration is made, the Coordinator-General can pursue public comment on the submitted EIS for his own terms of reference before it is released for its mandatory public notification. The Coordinator-General can also request the proponent to provide additional information for the EIS within the statute power of the position to ensure the content is sufficient. An evaluation report is finally released by the Coordinator-General at the end of the process of environmental impact assessment, which either rejects or grants approval, usually with subject to conditions. An overview of the statutory approval process for this project from the beginning to the end involves an initial pre-lodgement meeting, the application for declaration, which for this project also requires a referral to the Commonwealth Government, the project then being declared coordinated, the preparation of the draft terms of reference for the EIS is enacted on, the proponent is issued with the final terms of reference for the EIS, the draft EIS is prepared by the proponent, the draft EIS is released publicly, the draft EIS and public submissions are evaluated by the Coordinator-General. If required, the Coordinator-General can request additional information. Revised draft EIS is provided and may also involve public notification. The Coordinator-General accepts the final EIS and then releases the report. The project is submitted to the Commonwealth Government for approval, and finally the development approval is processed. Best Ever Environmental Impact Assessment Specialist strives to create the most accurate and inclusive environmental impact statements for our clients' proposals, enabling efficient and organised outcomes throughout the whole statutory approval process. The Lindeman Island project is quite extensive and has many projected benefits. Through Best Ever Environmental Impact Assessment Specialist Association with Whitehorse Australia Lindeman, these positive outcomes will be realised. I hope that I have highlighted the key stages and background information for this process to your approval and help put your mind at ease. Thank you for the opportunity to work with your company.